back on Sumbar. It's the 5th of April today. I spent the last couple of days travelling down through Germany, Austria, etc. A couple of nights in a couple of hotels. 10 of us have made the trip down this time. It's looking good, all set up now. Been quite a long slog setting everything up. Sweating a bit because it's pretty warm in the afternoons. Frosty in the morning, but yeah, really pleasant afternoon, especially got the wind coming over the top of me, and so I'm slightly out of it. It's pretty comfortable. Come out third in the draw, which ain't too bad, and got what I think's potentially a good choice. And my mate Oz, who I always travel down with, we're fishing next to each other, which is always nice. But yeah, it's been a hot afternoon and a lot of work getting set up, but it's all done now and we're fishing. And now it's cooled off a little bit as we're coming into the evening. My belly's rumbling, it's time to have some food. I don't think it'll be too long before a fish or two are caught out of here, although I'm not seeing a great deal. But early days yet. But yeah, I'm going to get on with some food and enjoy the rest of this evening. Alright, so it's our first morning on Sumbar, and Oz has opened up his account. It's been a bit quiet, really cold last night, but we were just stood chatting and a couple of beeps on the alarm and Oz was away. Sorted the spots out this morning as well, we did. It was a long day setting up yesterday. But here we are, Oz with a 47-pound Sumbar common. Yeah. Well done, my friend. Same. Good stuff. Let's get them back. Burp. Oh, good morning. And we've got a fish. First sort of 24 hours was relatively quiet for me and Oz. We had a really hard frost on the first morning as well. I think it was down to about -3, something like that. And needless to say, it was relatively quiet. There's been a few fish out. I think Phil up on the point seems to be in the lead. I think he's had about 10 fish now, something like that, up to 50, 56 or 57. And I just photographed a 56 common for Pete. And yesterday, dinner time, Oz had his first fish. He's fishing next to me in 25. He had his first fish yesterday after a little bit of adjustment, and that was a 44 pound common. And a couple of hours ago had my first take, and I've got a nice 49 pound common to have a look at. As it was just getting light as well, I had a single beep on my right hand rod and didn't think too much of it. Should have had a look really, but a fish had picked up my bait and kited to the left, and there were some snags on the top of the clay bar that we're fishing out on, and unfortunately made it to there and my hook link parted. So, but that's a couple of bites from having nothing. I made a few adjustments yesterday. I changed my my hook bait, so I'm just using a single 20mm bottom bait sow and some little red licorice pop-ups that my mate made for me. But yeah, it's nice to get off the mark, and we'll see if we can have a look at her now. Just grab my water. I'm just fishing literally right on top of this clay bar. It's about 140 yards out, and it's 9 foot on the top of it, and my side of it drops pretty much straight down to 18 foot and then gradually falls off behind. But it's a known area, and the fish do get caught from there quite a lot. So right, let's see if we can get this one up for a look, because it's a nice clean carp. Maybe a bit fluffy. thought he might be a bit lively. Been sat in the bag for a couple of hours, but that will do for a first fish. A nice clean, looks like Pete's 56, same sort of shape in that, but yeah, great start. It's cold still, hands feel cold, but that's a lovely start, and we've got a lot of time to maybe get another chance of loading up some more prizes like this. Well, my mate Ozzy's just come down now. He's going to do a couple of pictures for me, and then we'll get this creature back. But yeah, very happy. Nice fish to start off with. Let's get it back. It was Tuesday dinner time, about 12:30 I think, and cool, the weather's changed. It's really warm today. I was up about 1-2 o'clock this morning, and I noticed there was a little bit of frost starting to form on the top of the bivvy, but then I had a bite at about 4:30, something like that, and I had a fish, and I had another bite after that at about 6:30 on the right hand rod. Unfortunately it found a snag, and there's a few out there, and cut my hook link off, but promising from the first sort of 24 hours, which was very quiet. Both me and Ozzy are fishing, as I've said, fishing next to each other. We've had a fish each. Ozzy in fact has just had, he's up there now sorting himself out, but he's just had a catfish, 20 odd pound catfish. There's been a few carp out. Pete to my right's had 4 now, up to 56. I think Dave and Eric opposite on the point over there, well, they both had fish, not sure how many. I think Dave said Eric had had a 22 kilo fish, and Fred on the far side, our Dutch mate, he's had a 27 kilo fish, and then a lot of fish have been caught down that end into the bay, which is pegged 24, and the point behind the reeds, that are behind the reeds in this picture. I think they've both had around 10, 12 fish from those areas. So I still think that we saw a few more out here today as well, this morning in particular, but the water's still quite cold, and I think these hot days will wake these fish up properly, and I'm pretty sure the forecast for Saturday is 24 degrees and 12-13 overnight, so I think by then these fish will be feeling the benefit from this sunshine. And it is warm, surprisingly warm. Cold wind is gone. It's a much more pleasant wind, so I think the fishing should improve over the next day or two. But now I've had a bite, it's great. I'm all sort of revved up, ready to go, and yeah, loving it. Just using boilies and a few tigers. That's it. A little bit of liquid, bit of smart liquid, and some hemp oil on my boilies, but not a lot. And a little bit of lake water just to mix it all together. But yeah, not loads of it or nothing. And that's got me a couple of bites anyway, so I'll stick with that for now. But yeah, from what I've seen this morning, compared to the previous 24 hours, looking more favourable, and hopefully we won't have to wait too long for another bit of action. Oh, what a lovely evening. Sun's just going down now, behind the tree line there. Oh cool, it was warm today, this afternoon. It's almost like someone turned the sun up a few notches. It was absolutely boiling. and it is supposed to get hotter over the next 3 or 4 days, up to I think Saturday, where it's gonna top out at 24 degrees. That'll be warm, I know, but I think it's exactly what's needed here to get these carp turned on. There are fish coming out. I think Phil, who's down on the point down that end of the lake, he's had a few steady. He must have had a dozen fish or something like that now, and he said he caught a 46 pounder earlier and it was absolutely covered in leeches, so they really are at that sort of point of waking up, and they were more active this morning than I'd seen the previous morning than when we got here, so I'm sort of optimistic that things will start to improve as these warm days arrive. But I've had a couple of chances last night, so we got the same thing out there again tonight on those 2 rods, and let's see if we can get a bite on a 3rd rod tonight maybe. But I think everybody's caught a fish at least, and there's been a few 50s out, and Fred on the other side, Dutch lad, he's had I think a fish of 27 kilos, so just about 60 pound or just over. So going into night number 3, it's not too bad. But I am looking forward to it warming up a bit, get these fish turned on. I think our chances will increase then. But Ozzy did have a 20 odd pound catfish earlier on in the afternoon or middle of the day thereabouts, and he just had a take 10 minutes ago, but he said it felt small and rattly and it'd come off anyway. But yeah, definitely a little bit more activity of sorts in our area. Just nice being sat somewhere like this with the rods out though, to be honest. We'll see if anything happens tonight. Well, I'm not sure what the time is, but I've had a take. Not exactly what I'm after, but I started to didn't know that that's not an impressive fish. There's a grass carp of 64.5 pound. What a massive creature that is. It's as long as my matlet, and he won't even go in the sling properly. That's not exactly what I'm after, but it's the biggest grass carp I've ever caught. I'm still struggling on the carp front a bit, but yeah, pretty impressive that. Alright, let's get him put back. Well, we've moved on a bit now. It's actually Saturday afternoon, the last day and night of our first week here on Sumbar, and it's been tricky, would be the best way to describe things. I think in the first 3 nights I'd had 3 bites, the first one, and then the next night I had a scraper 40 and common, and yeah, it just quietened off from there really, and I went a day and a half without any kind of activity at all, and then picked up a couple of grass carp, and over a couple of nights, and then which would bring us up to last night, and I had a take about 1:30, which is the kind of normal time that a dad bites. Excuse me. And caught another grass carp, albeit a large one, the biggest one I'd ever seen anyway, and I had to weigh it, and it was 64 pound. and not really what I'm after, but you know, an impressive creature anyway. And then at 8 o'clock this morning, sort of totally out the blue random, I had to take on my middle rod. Not had a bite on that since I started, and had a small mirror of about £20. Over the course of a few nights, I have been, you know, up listening and looking and things, and when they get up for a wee or whatever, you have a bit of a nose. And I'm not too far from this bay I'm sat in now, and I have been hearing fish down in here overnight. A few decent sounding ones as well, and I've given that 6 nights up there now, and my feet were itching, and these fish have been crashing down here at night, and it's been quiet all week, so I thought it's got to be worth a go. And yeah, I've come round, put a couple of rods out, and I've had 2 fish quite quickly, a common of about 22, 23 pounds, and no sooner than I'd returned that, I had a take on this rod down here. There's a little island, probably can't see, well, you might be able to see it through the reeds there, just off the corner of that, and that was about 28, maybe 30 pounds, and that was a mirror. And I'm sorely tempted now to at least do the night in here. I don't think I'm gonna break my entire camp down, unless of course someone wants to move in there, but yeah, I'm just going to bring my bed round and do a night in here and see if it's worth it, and then make a decision on whether to move round here or not. Pete, who's fishing just up on the other bank there, a couple of swims down, confirmed it. He's basically been catching a couple of carp a night, and he said that he'd been hearing them down in here as well, so it's a no-brainer for me to give it a go, and yeah, see what happens from here. 37, and this is the 4th bite I've had here in about sort of 4 and a bit hours, 5 hours maybe, and I've finally got something to hold up for the camera. It's a beauty, that is. Super clean fish. And this one rocked the scales round to a healthy 47. And it's nice to hold up a decent fish. It's been a bit of a tough go, but you know, with this hotter weather and that, I'm sure things are going to improve for our 2nd week. But I'm not going to keep this out much longer because it's pretty hot. But yeah, cracker. Let's try for another. Oh, good morning. Oh, it was a bit of a restless night, not due to the fact that I was having lots of bites, but we just slept out on the bed under the stars last night, and it went really damp. Oh, it was like a bit of a whiteout this morning and that, and yeah, everything was pretty damp. But I thought moving down here, I did yesterday, and I had half a dozen bites in the day, and the fish had largely been showing down here at night, and I thought that the night time was going to be the time, but I had a couple of bites. I had a small one, one I lost, got cut off on, and I did manage at 3 o'clock, 3:30 this morning, another nice mirror, and got me first fish over £50 on this trip, so it's quite a fitting way to end our first week on here. It was a patchy week certainly to begin with, but I've now ended up with, I think, 10 carp for the week, and a couple of losses, a big grass carp and a couple of other ones. But yeah, kind of saved the week right at the end, pulled it out the bag, as they say. So let's have a look at this one, and let's have a look at it. Nice dark fish, this one. It's a nice dark fish, not many scales. Yeah, there you go. 52.5 pounder. I'll take that. But yeah, sort of patchy old week, but to finish on a fish like this for the first week is a fantastic way to end. I have still got baits out. I'm going to fish for another hour or two, and then I'm going to go back up to my swim. We're due some rain later, so I think that might stir the fish out in open water up a little bit, stir them up a bit, and start catching out there hopefully. Anyway, I'm going to get this one back and get myself packed up and move back round to my bivvy. But yeah, what a cracker, what a cracker. Sunday morning now, 11 o'clock. I'm still sat in the bay swim, maybe for another hour. About midday, 1 o'clock, we are due some rain. And although it's very comfortable temperature wise, there's quite a lot of cloud today, and it feels quite close and a little muggy almost. But yeah, I've enjoyed my 24 hours in this swim. I had 10 bites altogether. There was a lot of fish in here when I moved in. It is quite a small bay, so I'm guessing that the disturbance that I've created, and quite a bit I suppose with the bites I've had, and one thing and another, chucking a bit of bait in, and yeah, it's gone quiet. I feel like a majority of the fish now have moved out and gone back into the main lake. The weather is unsettled now for the next 3 or 4 days, with rain punctuated over the next few, and I'm pretty sure that's the kind of change it's needed. It's just been hot still. Oh, I'm away, I gotta go. Well, I just had a couple of beeps then. I thought I was away on the middle rod there. But yeah, as I was saying, the weather looks good for carp fishing. Probably a lot better than what it did on our first week. But overall, there's been quite a few fish caught. I think the best one so far on the full moon last night was John down the other end of the lake, fishing on the point down there. Had a 66-pound common. There's been a lot of 50-pounders caught. I'd guess somewhere in the region of certainly 15, and quite a few other fish as well. Everybody's caught, but it still hasn't switched on. That's what it feels like. There's a few grass carp getting caught at the minute as well. But yeah, another hour here, and then back to my swim. I'm going to get off down the shops with Ozzy and restock, and have another go out in the open water tonight. There we go, my mate Oz with a 41 3/4 this evening. After an epic battle with it, it made it into the bank of reeds round to our left, and had no option but to go and get the punt. And Oz won the day. Good bit of angling, my friend. Well done, Oz.
Sound.
Maybe the start of things to come.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, so it's now just going to dark. And having fished last night down in the bay, down the lake there, and had a few fish. I definitely felt like they'd moved out, and it was time to move back to my swim. And it's a good decision to do that, because this evening we've had a couple of bites between us. Ozzy had the first one at £42 I think, and almost at the same time I had a 43, and same rod, I got back out and it's gone again, and got a really crisp, clean, lovely 54 pounder, the best one of the trip so far, and it's a beauty. So clean these fish are looking. A real pleasure to catch things like this, it's wonderful. Right. So we can get you up and have a little look at you. Yeah. Check that out, how about that? That'll do, wouldn't it? Oh. So I finished the week, I should say, with a 50 pounder, and started the second new week with a 50 pounder. It's got to be a good omen, hasn't it? But yeah, what a fish, really chuffed with that. Right, I'm not going to get it out for too long, but yeah, that'll do nicely. Right, let's get that one back. Well, it's 2:45 now, so 2:30, 2:30, just had another take. It's the fourth bite of the night, and I've got well, not long ago I had a mirror of about 30 pounds, just under maybe. I didn't weigh it, rebaited, got back in the bag, didn't even get a chance to settle down, and it was away again, and God, they're so full of life. I got myself very nice, clean 44 pound common, nice long one as well, look at that. But yeah, getting some bites in the swim now. Last week was a real struggle to get a bite in here, but the conditions have changed. We've had a bit of rain and cloud cover. It's incredibly mild for this time of the night, and the fish are starting to feed, so I'm going to get this one back now and have myself a cup of tea. But yeah, absolutely loving it. What a peach. Let's put her back. Just have a little catch up. It's now Tuesday morning, and we've had, it's still drizzling now, but we've had a lot of rain overnight, pretty much all night, and yesterday evening, but no wind. I think the wind would have improved things, but I still had another couple of bites this morning. Had a 37 mirror and a 39 pound mirror, and also had a small cat in the night as well. But yeah, there's no real set time to get in the bites. Both of the bites I've had were this morning, which is kind of unusual for the trip so far, but I'll take that anyway. But yeah, very, very mild. Temperatures dropped. It's comfortable again now. I was getting quite hot in that sunshine. I've been baiting that bay down in there again. I'll have another one. It's supposed to be 26 tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna chuck a bit more bait in there later and then go and have a fish for a few hours tomorrow. But yeah, I think it's steady, it's action steady. I'm sort of averaging a couple of bites a day. I've had 16 carp now and a couple of losses, so overall it's not too bad. I'm not quite sure why the fish are in the mode that they're in, but they're still staying over in that central part of the lake, on that far side, in the slightly ripply water over there. But yeah, still got 5 nights all to play for yet, and I'm pretty confident I'm going to get more chances. I've got the left hand rod and the middle rod doing bites now. So there's 2 spots I've got that I'm getting bites from, It's quite simple, it's just boilies, 20 millers and double 20mm bottom baits. I had a little play about with snowmen with pop up on the top and that, different colours, but grass carp, mainly attracted by those, so took them off, and I am thankfully I haven't had a grass carp since. But yeah, it's the conditions feel really good for a bite, but it's still a little unpredictable. But we'll keep going. I'm going to pop along and have a cup of tea with my mate Ozzy now, and see what happens. Wednesday morning. Steady night last night. Had a couple of bites. Just coming up to dark. Had a take on the left hand rod. That was a nice clean 46-pound common. And then into dark I had a small cat and lost one on the right hand rod. And then about 3:30, quarter to 4 this morning, another steady take resulted in this very fine mirror of 53 pounds. So if you'll behave a minute so we can have a quick look at you. Oh, there we go. I think this might be an original one. It looks a lot different than the stocky type fish we've been catching, but a lovely dark, fat, chunky Croatian mirror. Lovely. Not putting out a lot of bait or anything really, and catching on double bottom 20mm baits, pretty much like normal. Alright, I'm going to get this one back now and have a look at having a bit of breakfast. That's lovely. Wednesday afternoon now, and I've gone for a fish down in the bay again. Seems like the right thing to do. Nothing happens up in the zone I'm fishing throughout the day. The latest bite I've had has been 8 in the morning, and let's have a little proper look at this bay. That's going out into the main lake. I got a rod there as well, going up towards that island, a little small reedy island just there. But yeah, this is the little bay. There is a swim on the other side over there. You can fish from it properly. But there's a few little areas along the bank this side that you can set a rod up in. And I've already had a bite. Just put back a low 30 common and give her a nice tussle. And it's just nice to get out the swim for a bit. Take the lines out the swim as well, and you know, change the scenery and that. We've also got a barbecue this afternoon. What the owners are putting on for us. I'm sort of down into the bay there. But yeah, lovely little bay. But yeah, we've got a barbecue to go to this afternoon about 3 o'clock. We need to go to the shops as well, replenish everything. But yeah, nice to come out in the day, get a bite or two. It was a reasonable night last night as well. I had a couple of nice ones last night, so, and a couple of bites in the evening. So I think with the way things are going, they are starting to pick up, and we still got a ways to go yet. So I'm going to sit down here for another hour, maybe hour and a half, see if I can get another chance, and I'm going to go back up and we'll get off down the shops. But yeah, still 4 nights to go, plenty of time, and where would you rather be sat? Thursday morning now, and halfway through our second week on here, and I'm getting some steady bites out of this swim now overnight. Certainly sort of 2, 3 or 4 chances of a night now, pretty consistent. And last night was no exception, and I managed 3 more carp on the bank. I started off with a 35-pound common, and then quite quickly after that I had a 39-pound common, and then a little while ago slipped the net under this magnificent looking 53-pound mirror. Bit of a palaver getting it in. I went through my mate's lines and we had a bit of a to do to get it in the net, but we managed it, and it's a wonderful example of what you can come and catch in this fantastic lake. Let's see if we can have a look at you. Oh, he's a long-owed fish, and he doesn't want me holding him up by the feel of it. It's still very flexy. Alright, come on, Emmy. Let's have a look at you. Wow, there we go. Just look at that. Some beautiful big scales on his back. Run it down. Ready. Steady. Some beautiful big scales on his back. And we'll have another quick look at that side. So lively. Spring vigour. And there we go. That is one handsome carp. One long carp. Beauty. Oh. Yeah, enjoying fishing here, that's for sure. Wonderful. Right, we're going to get him back and have a bit of breakfast, I think. And that is one handsome carp. Right, that's it. Morning, it's now Friday morning, and finally the rain stopped. We've had sort of three days and nights of on-off rain, and yesterday was supposed to look like it looks today, but the rain continued all through, certainly yesterday afternoon, evening, and well into the night. But we did manage another 3 bites. I had a small mirror to start with, then an unfortunate loss, and then at 2:45 this morning I had a 37-pound common, which is quite nice. Birthday fish. It's my birthday today, so technically that is a birthday fish, which was quite nice. But yeah, patchy, strange fishing this visit. Not really been able to sort of nail anything down. Quite random. One night you'd get the bites on the left hand rod, next night nothing on that, and it'd be on the middle rod, and so on. And the times, apart from the sort of main part of the day, that's the only time I've not had a bite. From literally near dark till 8 in the morning, you know, I've had bites at any time. So I mean, overall I think I've had 25 carp now, a few nice ones in amongst that lot, so it's not too bad. It's pretty consistent with the catch rate that I've had on here on my previous couple of trips. Got to start thinking about packing up and all that now. One of the worst bits for me, that is. Once I get settled in, I could stay here, but yeah, we've all got to earn a bit of money in that so we can do these kind of things. But yeah, still a couple of nights to go. Off down the shop in a minute to get the last bit of milk and whatnot for the last 2 days, and we'll be starting to sort things out. Hopefully that sun will be on us shortly. We can get our kit dried out because everything's soaked at the minute. But yeah, overall as a group as well, I mean, like Phil's had over 50 carp. I think Pete, who's down to my right, he must have had a similar amount, and you know, everybody's caught, and I think everyone's had, you know, a reasonable fish as well. 5 60-pounders have been out to this point. Phil's had a couple. John, Fred and Eric have had the others. But yeah, it's I love these old weeks. It's great fun fishing down there with these guys and that. Everyone's really sound and we always have a good laugh and that. But yeah, 2 more nights, quick update, and hopefully we can get another fish for the camera before I go. Well, it's a nicer day today than it has been for the last couple of 3 with the rain and that. Although seemingly good conditions, it didn't seem to improve things that much. Things carried on pretty much the same. No real difference last night. I had 3 chances. 2 earlier on, around 9:30, 10 o'clock, unusual. I had a small mirror and lost one, got my hook link cut. And then at 2:45 this morning, the right hand rod, which I've only had 1 bite on since I've been here, burst into life, and I had a nice looking 37-pound common. It's been another 60-pounder out. I think Eric's had another 60. But the conditions are just fantastic. That wind's pretty stiff when you stand out there. You probably wouldn't be able to hear me talk above it on the filming, but yeah, it's the conditions are fantastic. So I'm hoping it's going to get things stirred up a little bit. Pete to my right as well, he's catching steady. He just had I just seen him have a 48-pound common and then a smaller mirror at the same time. So there's still chances to be had, but just never really got to grips with getting a bite in the daytime out of here. Whether they're just not about or whatever, I don't know. But I haven't had a proper daytime bite. I thought maybe with these conditions like they are today, that might have changed. We went down the shop earlier just to get a last bit of milk and that for the last couple of nights. And I actually started sorting the back of the van out earlier as well to get ready for sort of loading it up tomorrow mostly. But yeah, still 2 nights to go. Feeling confident, but never quite sure when, things are coming. Bite time, very very random. But I'm confident of another couple of chances before I go anyway. But yeah, lovely conditions now. Having a nice time. It was my birthday today, so Dave went down and got us some cake and that. Yeah, spent a bit of time down there with Dave and Oz and had a good old laugh. A nice fish had rounded the day off just lovely. We'll have to see about that. Anyway, that's it for now. Hopefully we'll get a bend in the rods tonight.
Away. Yeah.
Okay, it's Friday night and the last couple of nights on our trip here to Sumbar, and I've had a fish on my birthday as well. So it's always nice if you can catch a fish on your birthday. And just going into the last part of the evening, steady take on my left hand rod, and I've got a wonderful looking 41-pound common. That'll do nicely. Maybe it's a good sign for tonight. They're going to get a few bites. We've had some fantastic carpy weather today, but been a little bit quiet in front of us, but this has quickly made up for it. So I'm going to put this in back and get my rod back out before it's dark. Magic, magic. How's your luck? It's the last day of our trip here to Sumbar, and had 3 chances last night. Best one was a 41-pound common. I had a 39-pound common as well, and a smaller one, all commons. And just seemed very quiet out there again this morning. And was up quite early, needed to go to the facilities, we say, and after me kebab last night. And saw a couple of fish as I come out of the toilet. Down in the bay, I'd been a previous few visits throughout the trip, been down here. And I thought, sod it, I'll have a go for the last day, and I'm glad I did, because I've just had a small mirror of about 20 something pounds, And then I've just had this wonderful clean £45 mirror. I'll take that for the last day. That is a lovely one. Super clean, like they all have been, to be fair. A little bit of damage on his tail, but yeah, look at that. £45 on the last day. That'll do nicely. Same thing, small bit of bait, about 30 boilies, double 20mm bottom bait, and yeah, just all very simple, basic fishing. And finding the sweet spot is around about 6 foot in this bay. That's where the takes seem to come from. So I'm going to get this one back, and I've got plenty of time left. It's only 10:30 now, so I could probably stay down here for most of the day. I've done a lot of packing up already for tomorrow's off, but yeah, let's get this one back and try for another one. Brilliant here, isn't it? Love it. There's the sun setting on our final day here in Croatia on Lake Sumbar. I've been busy packing everything away. Just going to cook myself a bit of food shortly, then get all that packed away, and that'll just leave a little bit of kit and bed and bivvy to pack away in the morning. I've set the alarm for 5 because we want to be away as early as possible and try and get across the first couple of borders before it gets too busy. But yeah, it's been a great trip. It's the 3rd time I fished Sumbar now, and although the fishing was unpredictable and at times patchy, it has been my most successful trip. I've had I think 33 carp now, and a few nice ones amongst that as well. So yeah, overall another good trip. Great company. I've had some great fun this week, last couple of weeks I should say, and it's always good to fish with this group of people. They're great fun. But for now, I'm going to carry on sorting out my kit and getting the van loaded up. And last night ahead of me, I have had my boats largely overnight in this swim, so I'm optimistic of maybe another chance before it's all over. But yeah, I really like it here. I know I say that about a lot of the lakes I fish. I really like carp fishing, but yeah, this is a bit special, this place. Feel proper comfortable here. Anyway, I'm going to get on with my packing up and see what we get tonight. Okay, so it's just into dark now, and just as the final bit of sun was setting in the distance, I had to take on my left hand rod, the most productive rod, and finished up the day with a nice mirror carp of £43. Give me one hell of a tussle. Give me one hell of a fight. Ah, such a nice fish. So strong in the spring there. But yeah, it was great. Real strong right from the word go, all the way to the net. Nice to end up with some fish on the last day. I was a little gutted to be going, but I'm still getting the odd prize. And the main bite time's still yet to come. Probably put a curse on it, but doesn't matter if you finish on a fish like this. Anyway, I'm going to put this one back, and I'm going to have a much needed cup of tea. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Well, this is turning into a bit of a bit windy, a familiar ending, but we were up again 5 this morning and packed up and away pretty early. But we're up into Austria now, on our usual stop up in the mountains, and yeah, it was a fairly quiet night last night. I had another big grass carp, certainly over £50. I didn't bother weighing it, and about 2 o'clock this morning I had my final carp, common of 36.5. So that was my last fish. But yeah, another great trip. We had some good fun this time as well. Good old laugh fishing with my mate Ozzy. Always really enjoyable company. Love fishing with him. And my next trip now is August. I'm off on holiday with the family in June, and then I'll be heading out to Italy in August to fish Atlantoid. So I'm very much looking forward to that. In fact, the next couple of trips out is to Italy. I'll go again in October, when I'll be fishing Salasco for a week, and then on to Parco for a week. So plenty of good things to look forward to. And I'm going to get on with the rest of my day now and get ourselves up into Germany. We're going to stop for an hotel. As usual, there's Ozzy down waiting by the van. So I'll see you at Atlantoid.